A couple announcements first. Obviously, the NCAA came out with its Committee on Infractions. I was not here, as you know, so it was before I have any knowledge of that. So I'm going to defer to the statement that the university released, and we'll stand by that statement. So in terms of asking questions and getting into the specifics, I really just don't have much to offer other than what we released today relative to the Committee on NCAA Infractions. Second announcement, Keyshawn Booty, he is not going to be playing this weekend. He has been excused to be with his girlfriend, who is expecting their first child. So they have a baby boy on the way, and probably may have already had the baby boy, but he is with her, and we expect some great news here, hopefully in the next few hours. So I've excused him from playing this weekend, and we wish him and his new mom all the best. So I just want to make sure so we didn't get a whirlwind of rumors and innuendos flashing before us Saturday when you didn't see him on the sideline as to what was going on. So covered those two things, and now on to New Mexico. Guys had a good week of practice. I was pleased with their, focus. And again, you're playing an option team and a true option team. I know I used that analogy last week. And then a very similar defense in a lot of regards to what we saw last week. So it required our attention to detail, and I think our guys did a pretty good job. So with that, open it up to questions. Or anything that's on your phone. Yes.
Right. I think it's me. Hey, just with Keyshawn not playing this weekend, how's it gonna shape what y'all do at receiver and the room you already have there? It's obviously quite deep.
Yeah, so you'll see, Jack Besh obviously in the slot receiver position, and I think Malik can bounce in there as well. You'll see Karen Lacey at the W or in the boundary quite a bit, and Brian Thomas can float into that position as well. Chris Hilton will play quite a bit out at the X as well. So we think we've got a nice rotation that will keep us in a really good situation as well.
Hey, Coach, over here.
Yes.
Did the play of the offensive line allow y'all to run more 11 personnel against Mississippi State? And do you see with the offensive line improving, that could be something moving forward y'all go to?
Yeah, we've been primarily an 11 team. 10 has been, 2-minute. It's been, situational, third and long. But our standard formation has been 11 and will continue to be so. Again, I think I've made this pretty clear. You've got to run the ball effectively, and I believe the best way to do it is with a tight end on the field.
Coach, New Mexico's defense forces a lot of turnovers. Just how much of an emphasis has protecting the ball been in practice this week, and kind of what does that defense do that makes them so successful in that regard? Well,
they're hard. They're just the structure itself, and they play really hard. Rocky Long is one of the best, if not, as good as any that I've seen in the business in terms of, over the years, putting together great defenses year in and year out. If you look at their scores over the last couple of years, no one scored over 35 points. I mean, maybe somebody scored 37 or 38, but nobody's in the 40s. So even when they've gone up against teams that have, better talent, they're difficult to move because their structure is sound, it's fundamental, they're aggressive when they need to be. it's just a really good scheme, and it's well orchestrated, and Danny was a part of that as well. So you've got really two defensive coordinators, and he's a really good play caller as well. I mean, they just have a really good system set up there.
Hey, Coach. Brian Thomas seems to be quietly having a strong season, at least out of the gates. How do you view him as a player and kind of where he's at in his development as a sophomore?
Well, he's physically very strong. He's got length. I think the thing that has stood out is his yards after the catch. He's difficult to bring down. And I just think he's another guy that, has started to understand what it takes to get on the field. It is so competitive during the week. You have to practice well. And if you practice well, you have a chance to cash that in with reps. And I think that's the situation that he finds himself in, that he has to compete for playing time during the week. And as he continues to grow and mature, I think he's figuring that out. And, I think we're at a point now where he clearly understands how to get on the field and get more reps.
Hey, Coach. I was watching Danny Gonzales' presser the other day, and it was sort of interesting. I was talking about how his defense might not be exactly the same from Zach Arnett's, despite the fact that
it's not.
They've worked together. So what are some of the differences then between those two defenses?
They're more of a 3-3 stack. They're a 3-3 stack more so with a robber. Zach's definitely has his flavor. They're a little bit more man coverage as well. So there are some varieties that are different. There's no doubt. I guess where they become similar is the 3-down versions and how those protections need to be implemented from week to week. So there's some good carryover from week to week.
Yeah, Brian, right here. If you can get Garrett Nussmeier in the game this week, I mean, what do you want to see out of him that you didn't see last time?
Decision making. I think we know that he's talented. I think I talked about it after the game, is that he can't press. He just needs to let the game come to himself. I'd be happy that if he's in the game, that's a good sign. But it's really about really making good decisions, take what they give you, and let's move on to the next play. Let's call another play without it being a moment of wow, and stay away from those moments, and, he can have great success.
Any change in Joe Fuchsia's status, or is he going to probably be back for the Auburn game?
We expect him back for the Auburn game.
Okay. And then with the offensive line, are you going to maybe use that same 5, or what's the rotation going to look like if there is one?
That 5 will start, but Anthony Bradford is active. He'll be involved. Cam Wire is dressed as well. And Tremont Short. I think it'll be probably those 8 guys that are in some form of rotation.
Hey, Coach, up here real quick.
Yes.
There have been a lot of changes to your offensive line so far this season. Emory Jones and Will Campbell are 2 freshmen that have stepped up to the plate, and that's kind of rare. What would you say that made you feel confident in starting them versus Mississippi State?
Just their play. I mean, look, everybody's got to earn their opportunity, and I think Will we had here in the spring, so we got an opportunity to see him, and he earned that opportunity through evaluation and through live reps. Emory took a little bit longer because he wasn't here. He came in a normal matriculation. So, we had to go through camp and actually, a game or so before he earned that opportunity. But these 2 are the best players at their positions and clearly earned their right to start at the positions in which they're at right now. Yeah.
You had a long run of success in games against teams at this level. What are the keys to the focus and the level of concentration that you want your team to have against an opponent of this caliber?
Yeah, I think it's focusing on process over outcomes. You're not thinking about outcomes as much as sticking to a consistent approach to preparation and how you practice. And